Now on Nightside, Washington will soon cover the costs of college tuition for some families. We'll show you who qualifies.
A little light snow could cause some big problems for the morning commute in the first alert forecast.
And food banks are struggling as the holiday season ramps up. How you can help. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. Starting in 2026, students from low-income families in Washington will be able to go to college for free. This is part of an effort to simplify the financial aid process, which can be frustrating and complicated to fill out for many families. A new law will make this federal aid process more automatic. According to the Washington Student Achievement Council, anyone who qualifies for SNAP food assistance is guaranteed the maximum Pell Grant, which covers tuition to in-state colleges and universities. Students would know this as soon as their sophomore year in high school, giving them time to explore the idea of higher education.
The bill can be paid for. They got to understand, well, why should I devote my time and part of my life to that program? Is it going to be interesting to me? Is the end result going to benefit me? And so that creates a time to focus on that instead of worrying about the money.
Families can also apply to FAFSA on top of this, which could help cover other fees like textbooks, supplies, and room and board. The goal of this law is to distribute funds that already exist to students who need them instead of leaving money on the table. And Spokane's chapter of the College Success Foundation is praising this new piece of legislation, saying these efforts demonstrate a shared commitment to student success and set a model for continuous improvement in education. This organization has been supporting low-income and underrepresented students in the community for almost 25 years. Well, Second Harvest Inland Northwest supplies food to more than 250 local organizations, but it's experiencing an extreme food shortage. These are what the shelves look like right now at Second Harvest. Racks and even the cooler are nearly empty. This is the food that's supposed to feed thousands of people in our community who may not know where their next meal is coming from. The Salvation Army's local food bank in Spokane is supplied by Second Harvest, so they're experiencing a shortage too. The Salvation Army says their food bank served over 6,000 households last month, and their demand continues to grow.
They're relying on our help, and it is so difficult for us because we want to make sure that everyone has something when they leave here, and our supply is smaller and smaller. Our food boxes are smaller and smaller as these families are leaving our food pantry.
For information on how you can help these organizations fill their shelves with food, look for this story on KXLY.com. Skiers and snowboarders can also get a cheap lift ticket at Lookout Pass tomorrow by donating to the Wallace Food Bank. Bring at least 7 non-perishable food items to Lookout Pass between 8:30 and noon, and you can get a lift ticket that day for just $20. All right, Chris Crocker joins us now. And Chris, you might even have some fresh snow on Lookout tomorrow, right?
Yes, fresh snow at Lookout Pass, fresh snow perhaps on some of the roadways around the region. Now, it does not look like much on our satellite and radar right now, but this snow will pick up as we get into the overnight, and we already have some spots where it's accumulating on the grassy surfaces in the Moscow area. This is the view there on Washington Street in downtown. You can see some snow on the sidewalks and a little bit of slush on the roads. Anything wet around the region will be refreezing for an icy commute in spots. Right in downtown Spokane, it has been snowing just the tiniest little flakes, but as you can see, the roads and parking lots are just wet, not white. However, again, any untreated roadways will be getting icy. Here's a look at our forecast snow. This is updated from earlier this evening, showing how much snow you can expect around the region, and still less than an inch in most locations right around the Spokane area. Some bands of potentially heavier snow south of I-90 down around Spangle, Cheney, the northern Palouse, where you could see in the neighborhood of an inch of snow, but we're looking at tenths of an inch through the I-90 corridor, and the further north you go, the lighter the totals will be, especially northwest. Your Friday day planner, the best chance of snow will be through the early morning hours, and then just a few flurries through the morning commute. We will be down below freezing, heading to a high of 36, so the roads should improve throughout the day. 34 is our average high. The next system is coming in Friday night. It's going to be a little bit different. heavier precipitation, but in a different form. I'll explain later in the news, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. A Colville woman was granted a pardon today by President Joe Biden. It puts an end to more than a 20-year journey for Rosetta Davis following her federal conviction on drug charges. Since her conviction, Davis has turned her life around. She's been sober for nearly 24 years. She's now devoting her life to helping others get better as a substance abuse peer at Northeast Washington Alliance Behavioral Health. And Davis says this pardon won't change that.
I will continue to do what I do. I will still help people get sober. But now I give them hope, because if I can do it, anybody, they can do it.
When Davis found out about the pardon, she could hardly wrap her head around it since she applied for that pardon back when Barack Obama was president. But after 11 years, her big day finally came. Well, most of the trails in the Dishman Hills Natural Area will be closed for the next 2 weeks. It's part of a $380,000 project funded by the State Department of Natural Resources. Crews will be working to thin the forest to make it safer for wildfire season. Dishman Hills was hit by wildfires as recently as September, and the county wants to keep nearby neighbors safe.
This area specifically was identified for prioritization because it has a history of wildfires in the area and fire starts happening on an annual basis.
And the trails are expected to be closed for the next 2 weeks. The project will wrap up in April.
When you think of the greatest athletes of all time, names like Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, maybe Lionel Messi come to mind, but I would argue that the competitive eater Joey Chestnut deserves a nod, and this Holiday Bowl committee down in San Diego apparently agrees too. We have the hot dog, popcorn, chicken tenders, Big Macs, pizza, among plenty others. Champion of the world is the new Holiday Bowl honorary chairman this year. Chestnut will also oversee the ceremonial pouring of eggnog over the winning coach. You can see that right here with last year's Holiday Bowl champion Lincoln Riley for USC. Look at all that eggnog. Chestnut has been all over college football this season, breaking the record for cocktail shrimp eaten with 21 pounds. Oh my goodness. That was right before the Oregon-Penn State Big Ten championship game over last weekend. The Holiday Bowl kicks off in 15 days at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. The Syracuse Orange facing the Washington State Cougs in the program's second ever meeting and the first since 1979 Bat-Accused win. That game starts up at 5 p.m. and both myself and sports reporter Sydney Berger will be down there with plenty of live coverage all weekend long. That's all for First Sports. Catch us later in the show for more on GSL basketball and updates on the Coug football team. Back to you, Derek.
All right. Jack, thank you. See how our friends at Coyote Country help make one grandmother's Christmas wish come true. And a message pops up on a Seattle sign, possibly related to the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last week. We'll tell you what that sign said coming up.
Our chance of precipitation continues overnight and through the morning commute. It will be light, but it will be hazardous as we are down below freezing. We expect light snow through the morning commute, and then it tapers off tomorrow morning. There's another system on the way. I'll let you know what to expect after the break.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Walker's Furniture.
New tonight on Kimmel.
The song, All I Want for Christmas, is #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart again. They should rename it Mariah Carey's 401k.
With Josh Brolin, Clarence Macklin, and music from Ray. Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
Another successful year, our 8th year making spirits bright in Cowley Park. The 4 News Now Extreme team couldn't do it without all the volunteers and companies that helped us. So we hope you enjoy it. We want to thank Horizon Credit Union for always showing up and getting the job done.
I know that things feel lost and hopeless and life is out of control, but there's hope and there are people out there that love you and care and who are praying for you without you even knowing. Freedom is possible. Your life could look totally different.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Mainstream has proudly served Greater Spokane and Northern Idaho for over 20 years, offering reliable and high-quality home services. Our exceptional team is committed to delivering trusted plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical solutions that ensure the comfort and safety of your home. Our goal is to provide the best experience possible when it comes to repairing, maintaining, or installing systems that make your home a more comfortable place to live. Because we are home services, we are Mainstream.
Save your greed!
Welcome back. 92.9 ZZU is continuing its remarkable holiday tradition that's now in its 30th year, delivering Christmas wishes to families in need. And for the first time, all 7 radio stations at KXOY are joining in on the fun. Callers nominate someone they think is deserving of a Christmas wish, and our stations deliver. Last year, we helped 152 families, but this year, thanks to a surge in nominations, the number of families we've helped is closing in on 400. Today's delivery was for a woman named Christina, a grandmother battling breast cancer. She was nominated by her daughter, who said her mom has dedicated her life to serving other people. One of Christina's biggest concerns was how she was going to give her 5 granddaughters a Christmas to remember.
I just want things to be as normal for the grandkids and all of that as possible, and I'm not sure how we're going to make that happen.
Thankfully, Jay and Kevin from Coyote Country do. The gang arrived with armfuls of presents and gift cards to Yokes, Walmart, and Amazon, plus a Visa gift card to help the family this holiday season. It gives Christina, the woman who's given so much to everyone else, a chance to focus on herself for a change. And again, we're closing in on 400 of these stories. This is just one of them. So pretty great to see all the work that our friends upstairs are doing in radio.
Yes, isn't that nice and fun to be able to see the video, not just hear it on the radio too. I love that.
All right, hey, we've got some snow coming down outside.
Yes, it is definitely not a blizzard. It is not extremely impressive, but at least it is a little bit of snow. And here's the live view from Spokane right now. Light snow in progress. It's 31 degrees. Currently in Coeur d'Alene, no snow reported, but it won't be long before you'll start to see a little bit of light snow. 31 degrees also in Coeur d'Alene. 4 things to know about your weather. Light snow through tomorrow morning, generally less than 1 inch. Saturday, rain. Mostly rain, and it's going to happen in the early morning hours. Some snow mixing in spots, but little to no accumulation. Here's a look at our satellite and radar right now and the very light precipitation that we have in progress. And you can see it is beginning to taper off, but we're going to get a reinforcing shot of snow as we head into the overnight. Tracking our weather patterns starting off at the current time. We'll keep that chance of light snow going through tomorrow morning. Then the next system moves in. Here's Friday at 6 o'clock. And this is mostly going to be in the form of rain. Let's take it through the overnight in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene with some mountain snow. And then we dry out again. Here's Saturday at 5 o'clock. We'll get a break between systems and a mostly dry Sunday other than some mountain snow. The next system comes in late on Sunday into Monday. Here's Sunday at 4 o'clock. And then that system will bring a better chance of some accumulating snow. Our snow level forecast for tomorrow is going to be around 2,000 feet. Then we're up to around 4,000 feet Saturday night as that next system comes in. Then it drops back down, dry on Sunday with a snow forecast of 2,100 feet. But we do have a chance to see some snow in the mountains, even though we'll be dry in the valleys. And then Monday, 1,500 feet with that next system coming in. So we may see some accumulating snow. Stay tuned for an update on that. In the meantime, nothing to shovel. If you do wake up with some snow on the ground, it is not going to be around for long. Our morning lows will be not very much cooler than where we are right now. 30 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. We'll have some 20s elsewhere around the region. Lewiston will be above freezing right around the Spokane area, 20s and lower 30s for morning lows. But as we warm up, we will be well above freezing, close to 40 degrees in Coeur d'Alene. We'll be in the upper 30s from downtown through Liberty Lake, 36 in Meade, as well as Cheney. Elsewhere around the region, temperatures in the mid-30s in Omak, Colville, and Bonners Ferry, 45 in Lewiston, and 38 in Pullman. Your planning forecast, we stay above freezing Saturday into a high temperature of 42. So again, just rain will dry out for most of the day Saturday and Sunday. 37 degrees for a high, and then more wet weather coming in Monday. I have it as a mix of rain and snow, but I think we'll be dealing with more snow than rain, so we'll keep you updated on any potential accumulations on Monday as we get closer to time. In the meantime, take it easy on the roads tomorrow morning. They will be slick.
Yeah, maybe give yourself some extra time, for sure. Chris, thank you. Well, the prices Washington's largest greenhouse gas emitters have to pay for their carbon footprint is going up. This comes after the failure of a measure that would have gotten rid of the program behind this. Part of the Climate Commitment Act is a cap and trade program, which requires the Department of Ecology to set quarterly auctions on greenhouse gas emissions. Those prices saw a drop in most of 2024, while an initiative was on the ballot and the program was in jeopardy. But since the initiative failed, prices and demand are up again.
Our specific concern is that it's happening too fast. These costs are kicking in at way too high of a value for consumers and businesses to adjust to them, and not giving them the time or resources to be able to plan out, a sort of slower start to this program.
Now, critics of the CCA say this increase will equate to more spending at the gas pump, but the Department of Ecology argues there are many factors that influence gas prices. The next auction is set to take place in March of next year. A message popped up on a portable electronic sign in Seattle today reading, "One less CEO, many more to go." It's not yet known who's responsible for this message or which company owns that sign. The incident has raised questions about the motive behind the message, especially in light of the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last week. The area where the sign was spotted sees an average of 62,000 commuters a day. Well, multiple search warrants have been issued and are now being executed in the case of the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Authorities looking to get into the suspect's cell phone after getting into his backpack and searching the hostel where he stayed with strangers right before the murder. ABC's Aaron Katersky reports.
Tonight, sources tell ABC News investigators are executing search warrants to build the case against suspected killer Luigi Mangione. Police are trying to get into the suspect's phone, and they've already searched the Manhattan hostel where he stayed and the backpack he wore when he allegedly gunned down insurance CEO Brian Thompson. Sources say it contained a jacket and Monopoly money. Sources also tell ABC News prosecutors are now bringing evidence before a grand jury, seeking an indictment to strengthen their case for his extradition to New York.
We will get the defendant here and bring him to justice through our court proceeding.
The district attorney declined to comment on the evidence, but police say fingerprints and ballistics tie the 26-year-old to the crime. Tonight, Mangione remains behind bars in Pennsylvania in a cell just like this one.
Before very long, he'll be brought back to New York where he needs to be facing the consequences of that horrific, audacious attack on the streets of New York City, which just really sent shockwaves through our whole community.
And around the country, it touched a nerve. In Seattle, this chilling message appeared briefly on a road sign threatening other CEOs, the city blaming a private construction contractor. At the University of Pennsylvania, where Mangione graduated with engineering degrees, an assistant professor appeared to praise the CEO's murder in this TikTok video, saying she's never been prouder to be a professor there. Later saying she was regretful and doesn't condone violence. Tonight, a woman who knew Mangione in early 2023 while they were living in the same dormitory in Hawaii tells us she was stunned to learn he was arrested for murder.
I was extremely shocked. I was like, wow, I was next to someone who did something so horrible. He was kind. He was super intelligent, super athletic, a good person that I don't think he could have done anything like this.
A judge in Pennsylvania set an extradition hearing for December 30th, meaning Mangione could be back here by the new year. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Well, now to an update on a story we first told you about last month. A piece of legislation aiming to end child abuse in residential treatment facilities is gaining traction on Capitol Hill. Last night, the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act unanimously passed the U.S. Senate. Paris Hilton and her team have been working to get this bill signed into law for years now. It would require more federal financial oversight and regulation for children in residential treatment facilities, many of which are at the center of abuse allegations. Next, the bill has to pass the House. Right now, it's in the Energy and Commerce Committee that Congresswoman Kathy McMorris-Rodgers is the chair of. Earlier this year, we spoke to Ms. McMorris-Rodgers about the bill and the work she's been putting in for it to get a vote this session, including meeting with survivors here in Spokane.
I've had the opportunity to meet with several here locally, and it's compelling that we need to take action. We all agree that we must be protecting our children in these institutions.
This legislative session ends in January. We'll update you if and when a vote happens. California Representative Ro Khanna, who is the sponsor of the bill, said the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act, which I am leading in the House, will help reform a system that has failed children and their families for too long. Now that it has passed the Senate, the House needs to vote on it next week. I am passionately advocating with House leadership to get this done. And to hear the story of a Spokane woman who survived years in a residential treatment center and says this legislation could save lives, watch Natalie Grant's special report right now on KXLY.com. A new federal rule will save you $30 in overdraft fees. The response from the banking industry next.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. Watch KXLY Plus over the air on KXLY ABC4. Live updates, breaking news, weather every 10 minutes from the 4 News Now team. Get up to date on the information you need in just an hour. Weekdays at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. over the air on KXLY ABC4.
These are real people seeking solutions to real pain.
I have plantar fasciitis.
My feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports. Clinically proven. Significant pain relief in only 4 weeks.
I'm not feeling any pain. My heel, that's where I always feel it.
Pressure off your knees?
Yeah, actually. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Take back the life you love and book your personalized arch support fitting today.
We aren't just HVAC specialists. We're a Lennox Premier dealer. That means we offer the most energy-efficient products on the market, with savings you can see and perfect air you can feel. Your comfort is our passion, and we're with you every breath of the way. Enjoy greater comfort and lower energy costs. Call us today and save on Lennox with special incentives and rebates.
Call Norco Heating and Air today.
Performance that truly matters for each and every one of us. This is what you've been waiting for. Shen Yun. Coming to Spokane, First Interstate Center for the Arts. Shenyun.com.
Papa Murphy's new cheesy stuffed crust pizza. It's what stuffed crust pizza should be. Hot, melty, and fresh from your oven. Starting at $13.99.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU and Volunteers Count.
Well, the Department of Fish and Wildlife wants to keep you safe while there's an increase of bird flu cases in Washington. This fall, it detected confirmed and probable cases in not only wild birds, but a cougar on the Olympic Peninsula and a raccoon in Walla Walla. To keep yourself safe, the CDC and the health department say you should wear gloves while cleaning bird feeders or harvesting birds, disinfecting your clothes and tools, and avoiding handling wild birds that are sick or found dead. If you must move a dead animal, wear a mask and gloves, double bag the animal, and place it deep in the garbage where scavenging animals can't find it. A new federal rule will save you $30 in overdraft fees if it's allowed to take effect.
Big banks love overdraft. It is easy profit for them, but it is punishing for so many Americans, especially those who live paycheck to paycheck.
Overdraft fees have previously been $35 per transaction, but under the new rule, the charges would be capped at just $5. It's estimated this would save people $5 billion a year. The banking industry calls the proposal blatant overreach, saying the proposed rule would reduce consumer choice and ignore the substantial progress America's leading banks have made in saving money for consumers. The rule goes into effect next October unless it's overruled by congressional Republicans and President Trump. Now, under the new rule, banks could still charge more than $5, but those terms would have to be agreed upon up front. With the holiday season in full swing, many of us have already put up our decorations and lights. Well, Consumer Reports has some tools that make it easier to manage those lights.
The simplest way to control your holiday lights is honestly with a smart plug. They're affordable, they work with popular home assistants like Alexa and Google Home.
Alexa, lights on.
And they're really simple to set up to turn on and off at your specific sunrise and sunset times.
Consumer Reports also recommends checking all of your lights, cords, and plugs to make sure they're in good condition, not overloading your outlets, and to unplug all of your lights before you leave or go to bed. A consumer alert now for anyone who owns a Stanley mug. 2.6 million of these two types of travel mugs are being recalled because the mug's lid threads can shrink when exposed to heat and torque, causing it to detach, posing a burn hazard. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says it applies to these switchback and trigger action travel mugs in several different colors, sold since 2016. Anyone who has a mug with the affected product number should stop using it and go through the Stanley Recall website for a replacement lid. All right, Ridgeline hosting Post Falls basketball tonight. Highlights of the Falcons and Trojans coming up after the break in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Consign Furniture.
John Benet Ramsey, how close are they now to finding a killer, to knowing what happened? Friday night on a breaking new 2020, the all-new ABC News interview, what you haven't seen.
She knew she was loved. I'm sorry, I didn't protect you. That's a father's job.
With John Benet's father, John Ramsey.
Do you think you know who the killer is?
And could new DNA technology break this case?
We think the crime can be solved.
The new 2020, this Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Bigger, brighter, and better than ever. Check in on the new Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. We've just completed a major expansion, adding more amenities to elevate your guest experience to new heights.
So, what are you waiting for?
Oh, amazing. Merry Christmas.
It's in you.
Love to give you a little reward.
This is reward enough.
I missed you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Mom, why is there stuff out here?
Hey, can't stay here.
Okay.
Feel the power of big win energy at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino, where the winning never stops. Last month, our guests scored big with thrilling jackpots and exciting payouts. Are you ready to elevate your winning?
The Ridgeline Hawks and Post Falls Trojans meet tonight in the Valley with a second win on the line for both teams. Post Falls, they're 1-3 after a 5-point home defeat and a pair of road overtime losses and a 4-point win over West Valley. But Ridgeline, they opened up their year with a win, but a slide backwards with a blowout loss at Mount Spokane. Now, Ridgeline and Post Falls met last season in Idaho, a 65-56 Trojan win. This game starts off with the Falcons leading 1-0. Nice pass and bucket by Caden Andreas gets the home team up 3-0. Post Falls swinging right back. 3-2 now. Andreas pokes the ball loose, but Tyrus Blake recovers. Kobe Cameron spins and falls, and one layup. What a move. 5-3 Trojans. But it'd be an 8-0 visitor run. But after some back and forth, it's 14-8. Cameron flying, dishing wide. Cashton Bodman cashing the three.
And the Trojan onslaught would not end there. Alex Dean misses the close shot. Braden Allen with the steal, but he turns it right back over. Jace Ostlund untouched for the layup to open the second quarter. 21-11 the score. Post Falls would hold Ridgeline to just 4 second quarter points and 29 overall as the Trojans win it 68-29. Cougar football team made an announcement today on their first transfer addition in the 2025 class. It's Will Huggins. He's 6'7", 250-pound tight end coming out of Kansas. Now he hails from Division II Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Redshirt junior earned first team all-conference, but before those D2 days, he spent 4 years with the Kansas Jayhawks, caught just one pass for a 20-yard score, but he's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. Now, speaking of the Holiday Bowl, earlier the last WSU head coach to lead the Cougs to a bid there was the legendary Mike Leach, the only coach to lead Washington State to multiple Holiday Bowl bids during his tenure. Today marks 2 years since Leach died of a heart condition. He was the head coach in Pullman from 2012 to 2019. Coached the Cougs to their first ever 11-win season in 2018. Now you're seeing right here the helmet sticker on Washington State. It was honored by both Texas Tech and Wazoo in their game this season with that pirate flag decal on their helmet. Now more news out of the Cougar football program today. Running back coach Mark Atuaya departs for the same position at the Utah Utes. Atuaya started as a running back at BYU, then worked with the Cougs before spending 6 years at the Virginia Cavaliers, and then spent 3-year stint in Pullman now. Utah will be his 4th school where he's coached, and he led the Cougs rushing attack this season to over 2,300 yards, 4.7 yards per carry, and 27 total touchdowns. Good chunk of those going to John Mateer, though. He also oversaw the development of outgoing transfer Wayshawn Parker. The freshman tallied over 700 yards on the ground this year. Plenty of movement already. There's surely plenty more to come in the next couple weeks before that Cougar Bowl game kicks off. We'll have all the updates here. In studio, I'm Jack Wallace.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Life's busy. Off is not an option. You need to be on. On time, on the go, on the call, or just ready to play on. Life's waiting. Power on with Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
I'm JJ. I'm Tyler. We're with Kiona Vineyards, and we're here at Yokes Fresh Market. Our grandparents planted the first vineyard on what would become Red Mountain. Some of our legacy cultivars include Cabernet Sauvignon, Lemberger, and Chenin Blanc. The Lemberger is really exciting, right? It has really high red and blue fruit profile to it. We are a big little winery. Yokes has been a beautiful match for us culturally.
Check out Kiona Wines at Yokes Fresh Market.
It's that time of year again to get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days, where you'll find great offers on an efficient CR-V hybrid, spirited Accord hybrid, sporty Civic hybrid, and the all-electric Prologue. Don't wait. Turn your dreams into reality with a new Honda, named KBB.com's best overall EV and hybrid brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Severe allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain, vision changes, or blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma or other medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
Batteries Plus has the national scale for all your power needs and a dedicated expert for the local support you want. Power on with Batteries Plus Business.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
It doesn't look like much on radar, but we do have just a little bit of snow sticking around the region, getting reports from Cheney, getting reports from Meade that it's sticking. Here's the updated look at Moscow. Has some snow on the roads. Of course, all of that will be frozen on the morning commute. And here in downtown, just on the grassy surfaces, a little bit of snow sticking, and there's more coming overnight It's not going to be a snowmageddon, but, you know, we might get 1/10 of an inch.
Yeah, and it's not like big flakes either, right? It's like smaller, wet